Okay, so I've recorded a couple of these already, trying to configure the EAF, automatic electronic focuser, electronic automatic focuser, yeah. So I've set this, I was setting it to just a smidgen limit beyond where the focusing point is, as well, but I don't want the tube to come out any further than that. But then it dawned on me it may need to come out further than that for testing its routine. So I've set it right back to where it is. What I've done is I've put a course of 5,000 on there and a limit of 600,000, as I'm using this hand controller to control the movement. Bleep tells me it's not going any further, so I'm just going to hold this down now. Set this to fast, which is still that fast you can go. Probably have a cup of coffee, yeah, half an hour nap in the time it's going to take for that tube to come out, which is why I don't really want to be faffing around with this too much at night. So what I'm doing is I'm resetting the maximum I want this to come out at. I'm not going to keep it at a limit of 60,000. I've just over-egged the pudding there so I can see where that is. I mean, this goes up to 8, I think, on the tube. I don't want it to go up to 8. So I'm just waiting for that to come out. It is a waiting game. Some of you might be putting in random figures here to get it up to where you need to get it up to. If you haven't got this handheld device, that's probably what you're going to have to do. I'm just holding down the button on the handheld device. That's what's making that move at the moment. And to be honest, I bought this Rod Valley Optics when I was exchanging out my ZWO, and decided to buy this. And quite frankly, it's proving invaluable. It gives me much more use over this if I feel that the ZW, if I feel the EAF is really messing this up, which on more than occasion it has. Sometimes I think the only value with that device is just to use it for manual focusing. With this device. Anyway, this is moving on now, so I'm going to stop it at about 7. Even it won't go that far back, surely. So I know it goes up to 8. I don't want it to go back up to 8. There shouldn't be any reason for it to do that. So there we are. That's as far out as I want that to go. It'll go out to 8, but it does need to come out to 8. So I need to know where that is. So I need to stick out of this for this show up automatically. And there's our figure, 32,084 current position. So 32,084 I'm now going to put into here. There we are. 32,084. Now that is the maximum that tube is now going to come out at. So where it should focus is at 1.5 for me here. So it should focus at about there for me. So what I'm going to do, with trial and error, I've worked out that's a value of crumbs. I've got that many figures. I think I settled on 8335 in the end. So I'm going to go to 8335. If it stops there, I've got it right. 8335. And then while it's on here, I'm going to go for a couple of other settings with you. So I'm going to move it to that. Whoops, here we go. This is what happens when you're working for a camera. Right, there we are. So other settings we have got is backlash. That's supposed to be the number of times you press the button on this, I think, to go back. And then if you want to go forward, it's how many times you push the button before you get movement. People have marked their belts and things within their mount to get that figure. I've set it to 30, but I understand from Cheshire Astronomy, which is where I've got some of my figures from, that if you've got it down to a fine of 5 steps, then the backlash doesn't matter too much. So if I'm wrong, have a word with him and then come and tell me. So far that thing's still moving, by the way. We're at 4 now. So what I'm going to do once this is finished is set the course value back to 100, which is what Cheshire Astronomy set his to. I mean, his setup's not much different to mine, so why not? And hopefully this will stop roughly where my focal point is. And if that works, the only thing left for me to do is to turn the whole thing off, or set this back to 0, turn the whole thing off, and then put it through its motions again and see if it repeats it. If it does, I can't argue, but here it is. That should stop just at 1.5 there. Oh, it stopped there. Alright, it stopped there then. 8335. I don't know then. I mean, that's... Let me put it to 0. This is why I think this thing's a bit hit and miss. You'd expect the same behaviour, wouldn't you? Move it to 0. But to be fair, on 2 occasions it has put it back to that. Worst case scenario, I'm out with this device and putting it there manually. And then if it doesn't set it up, then I give up. I really don't know what the deal is with this thing. Some people have better luck with it than I do. At the moment I'm not the #1 fan or convinced, but I'm giving it a go. So I have actually got 6919 underlined. God, you'd think I'd remember these things, wouldn't you? So let's have a look. It's not going to make a lot of difference. 6919. 6919. 919. There we are. Move. And that should marry up. If not, I will move it back there, make sure I've got that value. If it goes back and stays roughly there, we want to a winner. It's getting there. 1.3, 1.4. Ah! Maybe that's my magic number, 6919 then. Okay, tell you what I'm going to do, because I've got a memory like a sieve. Even though I've underlined it, I'm going to put an asterisk next to that. Right, so all I'm going to do then, guys, is turn this all off. I'm going to move the course figure back to 100, by the way. That's how Cheshire Astronomy had it. I think at the end of the day, you don't want the steps too far apart that you miss the points that matter. I'm also going to set that back to 0. So there. Really, a lot of this should be quite straightforward. The course and the fine movements. You don't want them too much. I mean, I think that's why I messed up the other day, because course was set to 6,000. Wow. I mean, even though it only takes 5,000 on the device, I really don't know how or why it was set to that. But that's now shut my focuser up. I know some people have that a smidgen open at 0. I don't see any point behind that. I don't think it's going to mess anything up. It's a Crayford after all. So there is that. So all I need to do is power everything off and come back and see if it works as it is. If it does, I'm happy to give her a test run and see if it works as it should. We shall see. See you soon.